Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from. Welcome back to the Crypto Analyst live stream. Today we're going to be doing some technical analysis on Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP, and then of course taking a request from you guys, the audience, doing whatever you guys want. I want to go ahead and make sure that this is working, make sure we're up and good, and we can go ahead and get this on the road. As always, we're going to go ahead and send this out to the community, to everyone in the Discord, and to everyone who follows us on social media, and then we'll go ahead and get the show on the road. But I do want to go ahead and cover a couple things that we're going to be covering today, and of course that is like what I said, we're going to be doing a request from the audience, whatever you guys want. Of course that's what we always do, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a deep technical analysis of Bitcoin and what's happening over here. We have some announcements that we're actually going to go through a couple minutes into the stream as well, and yeah, really a whole lot more. We're going to be talking about Litecoin as well, because that's a big hot topic right now, along with Tron and XRP and a lot of these other ones. So I think it's going to be a really cool plan out. There's going to be a lot to go over here, so it's going to be, again, I think it's going to be super exciting. There's so much cool stuff that we're going to be able to cover, and so much deep technical analysis that we're going to be covering on Bitcoin as well as the altcoins as well. So let's go ahead and send out these links, so again we can just go ahead and get this show on the road, and we can get this live stream going as fast as possible, letting everyone know that we are indeed here. We're ready to start and move our way on from there. So we go over here, tag this at everyone. We should be able to get this going. What's up, guys who are just joining the live stream? I see people are starting to join now. What's up, everybody? Making sure chat's working too. There we go. Oh, maybe not. So yeah, we're just gonna, again guys, this is nothing different from all the other ones. We're going to give everybody the second to join in here. We're going to make sure that we send this out to the social media, because it's, weirdly enough, we actually can't send out the notifications until we're live. So I wish that there was a system that was a little bit more convenient, but until there is, we do it the old school way. Let's start going through. Okay. There we go. And notifications should be out. Perfect. I see chat's already starting to join. What's up, everybody? See you guys joining. Alright, so I do want to give this just a moment, just a little bit longer. I guess we can go ahead and start going through some, just like the basics, not even getting into the TA yet. Jalom, what's up? Great to have you in here, my dude. Okay, now, yeah, see, that's why we got to send out the notifications, because the notifications actually help out so much, especially when starting this and actually getting people in here. Gordon, great to have you. Welcome. Welcome, guys. And let's go ahead and send this into full screen mode, which means that we're engaging over here. So yeah, as I said, guys, we're going to be doing some technical analysis on Bitcoin, on Litecoin, on XRP, on Tron, and of course, whatever you guys, the audience, wants. So you guys give requests, I do the requests. I'm your guys' host. This is my, it's my glad duty to be able to do technical analysis for you guys today. It's gonna be a great time. We're back in the normal setup. As you guys can see, we got the green screen in the background. We got our boom mic. We got our regular microphone back in here, so we're able to actually get things done correctly. We have the whole entire setup back up to normal. We have all of my monitors, so I can actually do some like high tier technical analysis, high tier content. I think it's gonna be a great night, and of course, guys, we're going to be doing and covering really what's happening with the price action of Bitcoin. Of course, if you guys have been watching the recent videos, the last video I made was actually talking about how bearish I was on Bitcoin. I talked about how it could go a little bit higher. Everyone was saying that it was going to conquer these two, or at least touch these two higher highs. I talked about how it was possible, but I doubted it, and why I was very, very bearish on Bitcoin from up here. And again, I titled the video, I think, small pump then big dump or something like that, and then this is self-explanatory. So again, I've been bearish on Bitcoin. Now that we've fallen out, I think we're in a pretty bad situation. It's not anything that we can't recover from, obviously, it's not like that, but in the short term of Bitcoin, we are in we definitely are not in a good place, at least for the time being. So we'll see. Anything's possible. We're going to be drawing up some stuff, but I don't want to go too deep without doing this. So, Jalen, welcome. Gordon, welcome. Is this BTC charts? Jalen, yes, this is BTC charts. We're going to be doing a lot of technical analysis today. Gordon, you're absolutely welcome. Poker Throat, welcome. I can learn more TA. Yes, you absolutely can. That's really the focus of my channel and YouTube and like my Patreon and everything. My focus is teaching technical analysis. And you can apply this to, I guess, whatever, but I focus on teaching technical analysis, and I also do it, you know, for trading for myself as well, and I really enjoy it. TRX, absolutely. TRX is already on the list. You already know it. Look at that Bart. I don't know if I see a Bart. I'm going to be honest. Not yet. Why are you never bullish? I am actually bullish a lot, but it's like, this is why I'm not bullish. Here, let's make this on a 1 day, because this is a good question. And that's the thing, is like, I used to be like the biggest perma bull ever, but technical analysis is not bias. And since I am such a big technical analysis guy and I'm teaching it, a lot of these YouTubers are going to be telling you everything's bullish, you want to buy, it's going to be 100K by the end of the year, or they're just going to be over-exaggerating how bullish the scenario is, when in reality, you know, there are bullish things to look at, like we've talked about. You know, I just made a video about a week ago titled Why Bitcoin Could Go to $300,000 within the next couple of years. But in the short term of Bitcoin right here, I would rather be right than right and be bearish than wrong and bullish, because there's people who are always saying it's just going to go up, 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 and they get themselves into a lot of bad situations, at least for a trader. You know, from a trading perspective, I would rather be right and make the money. But this is why I'm not bullish on Bitcoin, is because until it conquers a higher high, I won't be bullish on it, or shows some sort of a reversal pattern down here at the bottom. So this is the biggest problem, Armin, and again, if I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way, I'm just trying to break this down on like a understanding level so that everyone who knows, not just you, like everybody, because a lot of people have these questions and they're just kind of fed information without being told why. So my deal here is I'm gonna go ahead and break you down the information and tell you why as well, so you know going forward. So the biggest problem with Bitcoin from a technical analysis standpoint and from a trader's perspective is the fact that it has never had a higher high since its bull market, and this is okay because it's a bear market. So from Bitcoin over here, again, never seeing a higher high. Even in here, this is actually a slightly lower high, so you could count this as 2 if you want. But like all the way down over here, like there's just, and then even when we zoom in over here, we're still not having higher highs on our daily. Like, right? Look at this. So this is why I'm not bullish on Bitcoin, is because of the sheer fact that it has not been able to get a higher high. We're going to go ahead and rewind a little bit here too, so we can erase all this junk on our charts that we just created. But this is the main reason why I'm not bullish on Bitcoin yet. And again, because another big thing is because of the situation that it created for itself over here in this area. It was a very, very bearish situation that it created over here for itself, failing a bull flag and getting rejected from resistance. It was just a bad combo. There's other signs too, but like the volume was dropping off. It was just a bad situation for Bitcoin. And now that it has fallen, it has also broken support. It's broken all 3 of its major moving averages. It's 50 MA, it's 50 EMA, and it's 200 EMA, and of course 200 MA as well. So it has broken all of its major moving averages. It's broken its major support, and it has also just received a lower high on its daily, and it's been a confirmed lower high now on its daily chart. So that is why I am bearish on Bitcoin. You know, there are times when I'm bullish, right? I'll make videos about it, and I'll talk about it in Patreon about longing opportunities. Tron was a great one. XRP was a great one. I was just talking about the other day with, I don't think it was in my Discord. It was in a very, very small Discord where it's like a lot of like high tier traders, but there's only a few people in there. But yeah, anyway, I was talking about XRP in that one. It's totally irrelevant. Regardless, I hope that explains it, Armin. I hope that does. And of course, if there's any more questions, dude, don't be afraid to ask. And ADA, all right. You know what, here, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull up a list over here so that I keep track of everything. I'm going to pull up a notepad, and we can actually keep stuff on here, and I can make sure I'm not losing track of anything. Man, my voice is a little bit froggy still. If you guys don't know, I have been sick, so I've been trying to recover. My voice is still not all the way there, but we're going to try our best today. So, of course, guys, we got number 1, we're going to do BTC. Number 2, we're going to do LTC. Number 3, we're going to do, what was it? I think it was, it was going to be XRP. Number 4 was going to be, I think someone asked for, oh, yeah, no. Number 3 was TRX. Number 4 is, Cardano. And number 5 is XRP. And was there any other ones? So we had Bitcoin, Litecoin, Tron, and XRP, at least for the time being. If there's any other ones, guys, just throw them in the chat and I'll be sure to put them on the chart. Makes sense? Okay, awesome. I'm glad it makes sense, Armin. Yes, TA and fundamental analysis aren't the same thing. Yes, they are not the same thing. Completely agree. TA and fundamental analysis should go hand in hand. They're both very important, but they are not the same thing, and you need to know how both of them work out. And if you can do both of them, then you are in such a better position. I think that there's nothing better than combining TA with FA, and like you put yourself in just like even better situations. So check out XVG, quick recovery from that huge dump, mini bull run incoming. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll put it on the list and we will look at some XVG. I haven't looked at Verge in forever. I made a ton of money off Verge earlier this year though, and it was great. I wouldn't say a ton of money, but like, because I don't trade. People think I trade with like tens of thousands of dollars, and I don't. I don't trade with that much. I'm a college student, and that's pretty self-explanatory. I do trade with like a decent amount of money, but it was good. Come on, give APL a little love. Can we do APL? I'll tell you what, dude, if APL appears up here, I would do it, but it's not even large enough yet to do a technical analysis of. So if it was though, as soon as it is, you let me know and I'll do one. VeChain would be nice. All right, let's add it to the list. VeChain. Apollo currency. Can you help me leverage short on Kraken? I cannot help you leverage short. It's actually illegal for me. Oh, how about Wave? Sorry, Ferris, I didn't even see that. So we got to put Waves right in front of VEC. I didn't see that. My bad. All right, so VEC is getting moved to number 7, or VeChain. I think it's VEC. Can you help me leverage? So that's the thing, is I can't actually help you leverage trade. I can only give my personal opinion on what I would do. It's actually illegal for me to tell people and give people trading advice. So I can't do that, unfortunately. I wish I could help people, but the government, I don't have the license to, and I can't, and like essentially, basically, I can get held liable for stuff like that. And so, I also believe it's against YouTube's terms of service. So it's just not something that I'm able to do, unfortunately. So I can't help you leverage trade, but I do leverage trade a lot myself. In fact, that's most of the trading that I do. So let's go ahead, guys. We've talked enough. We've had enough of our rant time explaining some basics and everything else, but let's go ahead and dive on into this fundamental or technical analysis of Bitcoin. Now, I want to go ahead and start this off with an announcement, and that is I did a Patreon post like literally like an hour ago. It's completely free. It's open to everyone. There's no catch. There's no catch. You can go and you can view it completely for free, and we're basically going to be going over it right now. So if you guys want to go, I don't know if there's a mod in here, but I think we can drop a link. There's a link in the description down below as well, but we'll drop a link later. I just want to make sure that you guys know that. You guys can literally go look at it for free. But we're going to be breaking it down basically right now for you guys that are here in the live stream. This is your bonus for being here. So what's happening on Bitcoin? Of course, we broke our support. As soon as we fell out of this, this was a pretty bad sign, because I want to go ahead and zoom in on this on the 1 hour to emphasize why this was actually getting bad and a lot worse than people were thinking, because this went from being a bull flag to a complete bull trap. And I want to talk about why. So we were actually forming over here what seemed to be a squeeze in the form of a pennant or something. Oh, we got to fix this up. And this is when things really started getting nasty, because again, you look at this ideally and at first think, okay, hey, this is just a bull flag because we rose up, we're forming this pennant, we should keep going from here ideally. But what you don't know, what like I guess most people didn't see, is that this was actually a failed bull flag turning into a bear flag. And this is what we call a bull trap. And the volume was dropping off. Your RSI was very bearish. We talked about the MACD just being kind of meh. It's pretty neutral, to be honest. But your volume was bearish, your candle charts were bearish, you failed a bull flag, and then we're continually getting rejected from resistance. I think it was like 5 days in a row, and that's never a good sign, especially just after you failed a bull flag. All of these things being together up in here in this area was leading towards a very, very bad situation. Again, a pennant being more neutral than anything, and then even towards the end, you had a little bit of a wedge forming in the very, very end of this. Actually, even a bear flag. So what I mean by this is, of course, you know, as soon as this happened, you broke your 50 EMA and MA, and then after that, things started falling very, very rapidly as soon as you broke this area of support. Next thing you know, you blew right through your 200 EMA, like no questions asked. This is a 1 hour candle, not even a 4 hour, and you went straight through it. That's not a good sign. You did not even see support until you hit this giant resistance line that we have over here. Again, this is a good resistance line. You have 1, 2, you know, like numerous touches in here. Of course, if you want to count rallies, 1, 2, 3, 4, now 5, it broke, which is not a good sign as well, because this was looking like a good opportunity to hold over here because it was a solid support line. Excuse me, I think I said resistance. It's a solid support line. And that's why things actually started getting a little bit rough for Bitcoin, is because when something this significant broke, it was kind of like all of the pressure that had been holding kind of just fell through the floor. And it was like holding all these bags of rocks all the way up, and then the glass breaking, and then all of a sudden you just have like a downfall. So that's when things started getting a little bit violent, and then you actually saw yourself double bottom over here from your previous low on this formation pattern. And this is where it's seeing some support, but it's setting up a bear flag. And you, again, guys, we've talked, if you guys remember from the last live stream, we talked about why, like, what a bull flag is and what a bear flag is. And if you guys remember this, this is a very, very clear bear flag. And like, I don't see this holding here. I wouldn't bet that this is going to hold. I know people that are, but like, I personally am looking at this and I see every reason to short it all over again. And we haven't even touched the heart line yet. So like, and that's the thing, is like, if this is as much buying pressure as you're going to get over here, and you're like, oh man, this is good, then like, it's not good. Because imagine how far and how fast we've fallen. And we're going to move this back to the 4 hour so I can show you guys just how bad it is. But we've fallen all this ways, probably around, what, 4,000? We've fallen around $400 already on Bitcoin. And we're just now getting our first green 4 hour candle after $400 of falling, and it's barely lit. The candle itself is barely lit. So it's telling us, all right, the bulls are very weak, obviously. There's barely our first green candle, and it's barely holding over here. It's on very, very, if we look down towards the bottom, it's on very, very low volume, the green candle. And, you know, the bears are still like quadrupled what the bulls are, at least in our volume. Now, this candle isn't over yet, but it's over half of the way through, and it still looks very puny in size of the bears. So when I'm looking at this, I'm saying, all right, well, there could be a bounce here, and there could be consolidation, and there could be something happening, and there could be, you know, something forming. But I think whatever is going to form, it's going to end up being a bear flag. And a bear flag, after it falls all this way down, you end up seeing it actually, funny enough, and that's why it's called a bear flag, is because it goes up, it does some sort of rising wedge, and people are like, oh, the price is going back up, it's bullish, which is not like what it's doing. It's the opposite. It's a bear flag. And then after the price goes back up, it comes to unstable, and then it dumps again. Now, when it dumps the next time, which I believe it will, again, not guaranteed, not advice or anything, but where I believe it will dump the next time is to this heart line, because we haven't even touched the heart line yet. And again, there's just no bullish pressure. If there's not, one of the most popular sayings I say is that if there are not buyers at this area, the price of Bitcoin will fall to a point where there are buyers. And this is for anything, not just Bitcoin. If there are not buyers at this specific area, then the price will go to the place where there are enough buyers to push it up or down. And that's all this is supply and demand. So when we're talking about this over here, and when I when I am looking at the next place for this to go, of course, my next stop is looking all eyes on the heart line of this channel. Because if this channel is getting respected, which it looks like it is, then I would imagine the heart line is the next stop of Bitcoin. We've seen it play, we've seen it play out numerous times in this channel so far. The last time it touched the heart line was right in here, bounced right off of it, also formed support. So I would imagine that the next time that this does play out, you probably hit this, consolidate, and then fall and then hit the heart line. And this is where you could actually have some good support. This is where you could start having a good argument for Bitcoin bouncing. Now, it would still be a lower high, but arguably it could be a higher low in the same sense. Now, do I see this as a very popular area that we could hold? No. I think it is a whole lot better of a chance of holding down here on the heart line than it is over here, at least for getting some sort of a bounce. I think you could come up, then you touch this resistance that used to be support, and then come back down. So like maybe it's a good scalp range. I don't know yet. Again, we're gonna have to see how this plays out. But personally, I think we're gonna head back down below the heart line towards the bottom of this channel and either hit the blue support line or the bottom of our channel, which is the red resistance line. And I want to go ahead and show what these two are. So of course, the red is the bottom of the channel resistance or the channel support. It's pretty self-explanatory. But the blue one, you guys can't see the whole big picture here. The blue is showing that this is a giant falling wedge, which again is bullish. I don't know if Armin's still in here, but this is a bullish scenario for Bitcoin, because if this is a giant falling wedge, that's a great bullish continuation and formation pattern on Bitcoin. And if this does play out and it comes back down and holds this blue support, that's a very good sign for Bitcoin, because the breakout of this would be giant. This is I'm 90% sure when looking at this, this is the largest in height and in length falling wedge in the history of Bitcoin. So a breakout from something of this size would be gigantic, and it would be justified. We talked about this. We said the same thing about the breakout of this giant descending triangle that we had for like the whole course of almost 2018, for like the first 11 months of 2018. And then when it broke down, again, we said when something breaks either up or down out of this, it's going to be giant. And then, of course, here you had a $3,000 move down in like a month or less, or something crazy like that. I want to say it was less than a month. You had $3,000 move down. The same thing is the case for the falling wedge over here, except it's even larger. So I would expect maybe a $4,000 move if it breaks out of the falling wedge, and then you come back down here, you hit this, and then whenever you break out of this thing, and it's not going to be parabolic like this. I always have to leave a disclaimer like that because some people are going to be like, it's just going to moon the second it gets out of this. It might not, but like the breakout would lead us, if we're looking somewhere around this area, I mean, probably up to somewhere around like 7,000 maybe. Probably around this previous high level up in this range. I would imagine that the breakout of this would lead us to at least $7,000 if we were to break out of this falling wedge with with a good volume and everything else, like a good solid breakout. I would imagine brings us to pretty easily $7,000. Now, again, a lot of this is a little bit more long-term speculation of Bitcoin, but that could be the direction that it's going in if it stops at this support that we were just talking about, and that's why I wanted to highlight it. So, I don't think we hold this area. I think it's a greater chance that we hold the heart line. I think it's still a slim chance because this is the falling channel. But again, I would like to come see us touch. I would not like us to break this blue support. I would like us to hold the blue support, maybe like piercing candle and bounce off of the bottom of our trend line over here. Maybe something along those lines. That would be okay. But I wouldn't want us to really fall below. I really don't want us to fall below this parallel channel, this falling parallel channel. And I really want us to hold this blue falling wedge support, because that's really the best case for Bitcoin. If you're arguing for a bull or a bear, or anything, that is the best case scenario for Bitcoin, in my opinion, is that you respect this falling wedge support, you keep testing it, and then you break out from it with good volume, and you have a great breakout, and that could lead into a market reversal. Now, that's not something that's going to be done by the end of the month as well, because if we're looking at this, that could take months. A breakout from this falling wedge could not be until like March or April, maybe. So that could take months to do. And personally, if you guys know my prediction for Bitcoin, I said at the end of the year, I think it's going to be somewhere around $6,000. So I want to let that be known as well. So again, this is something that would take a very long time, being, maybe 2 months. But it would be a good thing for Bitcoin. It'd be healthy, it'd be good, it'd be strong. And it would respect the technical analysis, which is a big part of crypto, or is a big part of any market. Why a bull? We are down, no up, more a bull trap. Dumps coming soon, right to the golden pocket. IMO. The dump was a couple of whales, pure manipulation. So what I was saying, Bob, is that I'm actually really bearish. So we just got done, Bob, actually talking about why I was really bearish on this whole situation. But I was saying if we wanted, where I thought we would stop and where I thought would be the most bullish place for us to stop. Now, I'm very bearish at the current moment. I think that this is a very bearish scenario. But I was giving the best bullish example that I think is realistic. And that would be bouncing off the support at around 2,800, 2,900, somewhere around this area. So that's really my thoughts on Bitcoin right now as I'm going through this and saying, all right, from a trader, from someone who's a lot of experience with Bitcoin and someone who works with technical analysis daily, putting those things together, because it's not enough, in my opinion. I don't think it's enough to just know technical analysis and come and trade cryptocurrency. I think you have to have some sort of a knowledge about how Bitcoin moves and works and what affects it and like how it behaves, because it is such an odd thing to trade. I believe it's one of the hardest, cryptocurrency is one of the hardest things to trade, but it is the most rewarding by far. And that, that's my opinion, but it's my favorite market, and that's why I stick with it. And I also believe in it long term. So long term, I think that this stuff is here to stay, and it's going to be, far exceeding what it is right now, 5 years from now. So moving on from here, I want to go ahead and start going through the list. I want to make sure I'm caught up on chat. I want to go ahead and say hey to everyone. Slice, great to have you in here. Bearish, oh, Slice, I missed your comment. Slice said bearish through 19 and 20. No, I'm actually not. I'm pretty neutral on 2019. I think it's going to be a year of consolidation and regulation, and it's really going to be setting the pace and the step for Bitcoin moving forward. And then after that, after all the groundwork and everything is set in 2019, I think 2020 is when we're going to start seeing this bull market start coming back in. And again, 2020 is when it's going to start off. I think 2021, 2022 is when things are really going to start picking up big, and people are going to notice that. And they're going to notice that oh, I missed Ethereum Classic. Gordon, great to have you in here. I missed Ethereum Classic. I'll add it to the list. ETC. And then that's what my thoughts are. So again, 2019, pretty neutral year. I think it's going to bounce around. I actually have a video on it. It's a couple of videos ago explaining my thoughts on 2019. But I think 2020 is going to be, sometime in 2020 is going to be, really this transitional period from this consolidation phase that we're in and this bear market that we're in to transferring over into the beginning of the bull market. So that'll be cool, I think. Otter, another thing is I saw you said that you were leveraging. I don't know if you're still in here, but I know you said you were leveraging on Kraken. I can't tell you where to use or what to use, but I personally like BitMEX or like Deribit more than I would like to leverage on Kraken. I've heard some pretty nasty things about Kraken. I've heard some pretty nasty experiences from people I know and other YouTubers who are pretty reliable. So if I was leveraging, I would go to either Deribit or BitMEX over Kraken, but that's, just me. Got my big old jug of water here, staying hydrated. So let's go ahead and read through these comments. And what's up, Otter? Great to have you. Yeah, you are still in here. Yeah, so that's my opinion, but Handy said, hey, welcome, Handy. Great to have you in here. How can it be manipulation? Don't you know that all it takes is one trader to move a market? So yeah, that's the problem with the market cap being so low. What is the market cap? The market cap right now is $123 billion. So like, in theory, like one person can move altcoins right now, like pretty drastically. Like an altcoin, any kind of altcoin, especially like the lower down on the list it is, can be easily manipulated, very easily manipulated. Because most of them at this point are worth like $2 billion or less. So they can easily be manipulated, a lot of these altcoins. Bitcoin being over $64 billion in market cap is a lot more hard to manipulate. And you usually need a group of people, but it's still possible. And that's the thing is, if you have these large groups of, you know, huge investors, maybe partnering or doing some sort of secret background work with exchanges, it's very possible to manipulate the price of Bitcoin. We've seen that happen before with governments doing it, getting caught out, government officials getting caught for insider trading and manipulation. It's happened over in Asia. They all got in a ton of trouble for it. Exchanges, I think like Bitfinex, they'll be like, oh, hey, we're going for maintenance, and then like crazy like behind the scenes stuff will happen, and Binance will do the same thing with Tether. It's like nothing that's not known. But I completely agree though, Handy. Like there is manipulation. There's like, but like in the same sense, people use it's manipulation like more than once. Like people use it when it's not supposed to be used, and they don't use it when it's supposed to be used. So like some people just use it for everything. Like the price moves and they're like, oh, it's manipulation. Like you can't just do that for like every move, right? We have to be reasonable about it. You guys can actually track like the Binance hot wallets. Oh shoot, there goes the green candle on Bitcoin. So we were talking about how again it's bearish and it was barely holding a green candle, and now that green candle's gone. So are we gonna hold this support down here? Because now we're moving again. We're gonna go ahead and move on, start getting through some of these altcoins, because we have 7 altcoins on the list right now. So we are going to start conquering this list. Starting out with Litecoin is number 1 on the list, and then we have Tron, then XRP, then Verge, then Waves, then VeChain, then Ethereum Classic. So, ooh, I gotta stretch, and then we'll start conquering these things. All right, Litecoin to USD. This is actually something I was talking about with one of our Patreons today. Me and good old Mr. Pokerthroat were having great chats about Litecoin. He actually pointed something out to me that I want to talk about on stream. So we had a great conversation about Litecoin, and let's go ahead and break it down. We'll talk a little bit about it, not, I guess, too much. We have a lot of things to do, and I do want to respect, again, him with his, you know, privileges as a Patreon. So, of course, you know, we could see something over here a little bit like more so kind of like a parallel channel, not completely. It's the support's pointing a little bit too far upwards to be a parallel channel. I guess you could like pull it down, and then we could actually have a parallel channel. So I just don't have it drawn out as one. Well, all right, so this is essentially what we have. Regardless of the fact, we have our resistance over here on Litecoin, riding it all the way up to the top of the channel. We said if it connects here, and if it connects here, the next spot would be in theory up here. And I think Pokerthroat was actually the one who brought this to my attention. And ideally, you know, this would be the top of it, and it still has a huge overhead bearing resistance that he pointed out to me as well. You know, like look at all these touches all the way down. So it's getting ready to hit some major resistance. Didn't even make it there and came back down, and now touched perfectly, actually. Touched pretty perfectly back down to this channel. And actually, I want to go ahead and try to draw a parallel channel in here now that we can. That's a regression. Yeah. This might be a little bit sloppy, but we're going to have to see. Alright, let's see what we can do. Okay, that's actually very sloppy. Well, we will, it's not what I wanted it to be. That's for sure. I think you guys get the picture, though. So, again, you guys get the picture for the most point. I don't want to again, I'm not trying to spend too much time on it, but you guys get the overall picture because I just had it drawn up before. But again, if this is a channel, went all the way to the top, it's falling all the way back down around to the bottom. But something I want to point out over here for Litecoin is that it actually caught on its 200 EMA pretty fast. Now, when this did fall, like a lot of the things fell right through their 200 EMA, like Bitcoin, like we just talked about. This, on the other hand, caught on its 200 EMA. Also, it had support down here below it. But what was previous this ascending triangle support over here, or resistance, it was supposed to act as support. It fell straight through the roof of that, and now it's below it and actually using it as resistance, and is having candle body closings over or underneath this resistance area over here. So it's kind of stuck in between the channel and its 200 EMA being on the bottom side being support, and this previous support that was, or well, what was actually previous resistance, didn't even get to use it as support because it fell so fast. But now it's using this as resistance once again. So of course you can see this over here with just multiple candle body touchings all the way through this area. You can even extend this even further to really show that. But like again, this whole area acting as resistance still for Litecoin. Now, something I want to go ahead and point out is that in the short term, on its 4 hour, it is starting to hook. So you could see maybe a little bit of a bounce here, a little bit of a brief. But what I was telling him is also that I'm still not too bullish about this. This is still a bad scenario for this because I believe it's going to follow Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin's looking bad, then I believe that Litecoin will follow Bitcoin. Again, that's something else I wrote up in the Patreon. For those of you guys who just joined, welcome, guys. My name is the Crypto Analyst. It's my pleasure to be with you guys here today. You guys are flying through chat right now. Let me go ahead and go through some of this chat. Otter says, I'm using Kraken at the moment, but the interface is confusing, to be honest. I put a 5x leverage short in last night, but I only got 1x back. Again, I don't like using Kraken because you like things like that. Thank you for the info, though. Yeah, so if you live outside of the United States, you can use Deribit and BitMEX, and they're like BitMEX. I think Deribit's like one of the best. BitMEX is like the most well known, and it's pretty easy to use, to be honest. But again, you have to live outside of the United States, and they offer all the way up to 100x. So a little bit more dangerous. I shorted 3,600 with a liquidation price at $10,000. I am long from $3,300. Well, when we go back to Bitcoin, I will analyze that. Mr. 33 Mag, welcome. Great to have you in here. Is your profile pic a picture of a guy surfing? Kind of looks like it. If so, that's pretty dope. I'm a surfer myself. Slicekeeper says, thanks. Interesting perspective. Thank you, man. I love giving the new perspectives. Otter, there's an instructional vid on YouTube about trading and margining on Kraken. Oh, thank you, Randy. Or I always want to call you Randy. Handy, thank you, man. Mr. T said, sup, dude. Great to have you in here, Mr. T. Thank you so much for joining. Where's the best place to short? Litecoin is, I mean, it's already over. Or it's not already over, but like the best place to short Litecoin, of course, was at the top of the channel. But that's gone now, so you have to wait again. You have to wait for like a bear flag to form or something if you want to short again. Which again, it's too early to say that there is a bear flag, at least on Litecoin. I think maybe we'll see. I don't think any of the cryptocurrencies are looking too hot at the moment, at least not for the short term. But I can't tell anyone how to trade or whatever. But I personally believe there's more downfall to come. You should have already taken. I'm looking for a good place to close my short. I am looking actually on a good place to open a short. And I'm not doing it yet, but I'm looking at a new place to short. So open up a new short pretty soon, is what I'm trying to say. And that's for Bitcoin. So I want to go ahead and close out Litecoin over here. Overall, guys, it's actually holding some good support. Litecoin's one of the best looking ones out of these. However, I think that Bitcoin could drag it down. In a perfect world, obviously the best place to long in these kind of situations is at support. So somewhere along the bottom of this channel, something along the line of that. But you'd have to keep a tight stop loss, because if this thing falls out of the channel, it's going to be rough and it's going to be bad. So again, if I was trading this, I would buy. If I had to long this, then I would long on support, obviously, and maybe somewhere around the 200 EMA, maybe somewhere around this line of support, and then keep a very tight stop loss. Not like so tight that like if it wicks under, you're getting stopped out, but like enough to know that if it falls out of the channel, then you're preserving gains or you're preserving your capital. Or I have to rephrase that. I'm preserving my capital. Gotta watch what I say. 33 Mag says short it now. Mr. T says, what's up, Rammy? What's up, Mr. T? What's up, Rammy? 3,300 to close short. All right. I don't know what exactly you mean by that. Handy Rams, I've watched it 10 times. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. Why not use BitMEX? What's good, RS? Great to have you in here. TA is garbage. FYI. Classic RS coming in. Are you saying like TA in general or just like TA and FA? Like FA is greater than TA? Honor, I messed around for a little bit with Bitcoin trying to learn. I finally learned. I will say, yeah, so, okay, well, first off, we're going to go ahead and move on to TRX because that's the next one on this list. But I will say with leverage trading, it's a whole different world and it takes a long time to learn. And if you don't know what you're doing, you will rip your portfolio apart. I was a great trader, and when I started leverage trading, I lost a lot of money. And I've like made it, like I made like what I, okay, so I only put a little bit in. So when I say I lost a lot of money, I was testing around with like a small amount of money, but like I shredded that. If that was my portfolio, it would have been shredded. So I know though, of course, risk management, you go in there with a very small amount of money, you learn what you're doing. That's what I did. But of that like small initial investment that I made into leverage trading, it was hard and it was not what I thought it was going to be. So I will say, if you're starting out leverage trading, don't go in there with your entire portfolio. Go in there with a very small amount, learn how to leverage trade, and get yourself comfortable for like at least a couple months. Because it is a lot different from just swing trading and like large scale trading. And like when you get liquidated, I was like, oh, I'll try like 50x leverage. And then, yeah, it was rough. Because I was always a swing trader. Anyway, TRX, what's happening on the great Tron? Of course, Tron is doing phenomenal as of lately. This is Tron to Bitcoin. Actually, I want to look at Tron to the US dollar. Well, that's hard. I want to look at it really on both. Something to note is still higher high on your RSI. Tron's looking great, to be honest. This is something that me and some other like big traders have been talking about. Tron is just, it's been doing great lately. Like it really has. Like what other cryptocurrency is in the green right now? And it's like decently still in the green. Like Tron hasn't been doing bad. Are you from the UK or the US? I'm from the United States. My friend, a limo driver of a whale, told me 33 long to 4,500. Well, I guess it depends on how big of a whale he is. You know, anything's possible in cryptocurrency. 3,300. So we're not there yet, are we? We'll come right back to Tron. We're not there yet, are we? Oh yeah, no, we're not even close. This is Bitfinex actually. Oh yeah, so that'd be right around the heart line. Oh, would it? That'd be right below the heart line. I mean, like, what supports at 33 though? There's like very little support. Be kind of a weird place to stop. We'll come back to Bitcoin. Anyway, TRX. TRX to BTC. Right now, again, it went parabolic. It's Eiffel Towering. It's starting to bounce. And there's really not too much to say. It'll probably have some sort of a pullback over here. Again, I think it's going to follow the price. It's pretty self-explanatory. But with Tron being one of the best cryptocurrencies, probably one of the best cryptocurrencies right now, performance-wise, it's doing so much better. While everything's still in the red, it's actually in the green. And we talked about all the other cryptocurrencies struggling to get a green candle on a 4-hour. And while Bitcoin and a lot of the altcoins are struggling to get even a single green candle lit and keep it there, Tron is exceeding that. And it actually has 3 green candles in a row, and they're big green candles. Like, it's consistently moving farther and farther up. So Tron, again, it's one of the best performing cryptos of today. And for the most part, I would start being a little bit concerned up here in this area. Maybe start shorting Tron again. Again, I probably wouldn't short Tron. I don't want to mess with it, at least not in this point. You know, it's having parabolic runs. And as I've talked about in the last live stream, Tron is one of the most volatile cryptocurrencies along with Verge. And when these things take off, you don't want to short them. You really don't want to be caught shorting them because when they take off, they take off. And like just when you think they're done, they just take off to another level and they just shoot to the moon and then past the moon to Mars. And maybe once I have some better confirmation that it's done pumping, I'll short it. But like for the time being, I'm going to leave this alone. If I'm a Tron holder, I would be taking, you know, if I was a Tron holder, I would be taking some sort of profits already because you've had a great freaking run. And, you know, if you've bought Tron like a little over a month ago, you would be up more than double your money, like far more than double your money. So there's that as well. So don't forget to take some profits for yourself. That's something I always tell myself. So we'll see. I mean, it's still forming higher highs. So Tron's 4 hour is still forming higher highs. So it's really just one of those things where I'm not longing at this area. I'm not shorting. If anything, if I was leverage trading Tron right now, I would be scalping. But like I wouldn't be making big bet moves like, oh, okay, Tron's immediately coming down to its 50 EMA right here. I don't like the betting. I've learned my lesson about betting against Tron on its parabolic runs. It's just not, you know, the trend is your friend. And if Tron's going parabolic, then, you know, I kind of let it be. So there's really not too much to do. I would say it's starting to slow down. Look at your volume, your 4 hour volume starting to fall off on Tron. This thing looks like it's about the Eiffel Tower. If you guys don't know what an Eiffel Tower is, like, I would say, wait, why is this? Well, this looks weird. I would say just watch, and you'll probably see what I mean. This is weird. Oh, okay, this is Satoshi value. That's why. I was thinking that this was the US dollar. So if I show the US dollar value, this will make a whole lot more sense. Yeah, that'll make a whole lot more sense. So be careful. Eiffel Tower is pretty self-explanatory. It's like the... Oops, that's not what the tool we wanted. It's like pretty self-explanatory. Like, right, this thing goes up, and then you have a giant wick, and then the wick stops, and then the candle body closings, and it, like, creates an Eiffel Tower. It'll probably create a higher low. Don't get me wrong, but, like, I don't know. I think I ranted enough about Tron. Next coin is XRP, and then after that we have Verge. XRP to the USD, and yeah. Let's go ahead and go back to chat over here, make sure I'm not missing out on too much. RS. Who is RS? He always drops in and he's always like, F you. And then he just leaves. He does it to like stagnant videos and live streams. He goes, what's good? TA is garbage, FYI. I think it's kind of funny, to be honest. All right, Handy Ram says, where did we end? We ended off with Mag talking about the limo driver, right? Handy Ram says, I lost a lot more money with low liquidation alts. Yeah, leverage trading alts, I don't really do it a lot anymore. Every now and then maybe, but I like doing Bitcoin. I like leverage trading Bitcoin more than I like leverage trading altcoins. BTC, please. All right, Gordon, we'll go back to BTC here in a second. Your analysis is cool. Great job, man. Yo, thank you so much, Mr. T. Great to have you in here. I think this is my first time seeing you. So I appreciate it, and welcome. I need some water. Chugging away. I have a giant thing. I called the temp bottom at 31.25. Oh, you called it there? Isn't that where it did it bottom there? Yeah, we got to go through XRP anyway. I don't like this. Can we change this? Make this thing thick and like neon. Boom. All right. Back to it over here. What do we got? Last advice was 7,300 short to 4K, so the whale is good advice. Well, that's pretty good advice. I think I was saying around the same thing. So, no, yeah, I mean, that's great. Short to $4,000. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. If someone told me to do that and I did like a 10x short it, I mean, dang, you'd be up so much money. Jeez. Here's the next resistance. Yeah, I think you're talking about Bitcoin. Which one are you talking about, Gordon? 33 Mag says, they pump from strangest places. I share it with you because it's not so much people here. Yeah, we have a pretty small community here, but yet sorry for English. I'm sorry. Yo, don't worry about it, Mag. Everyone's welcome here. You don't have to have perfect English. I can't hold you to a standard because I don't have perfect Serbian, right? Or Arabic? I think it's Arabic. Can you buy Tron on Kraken? I think so. Can you look at Neo? Absolutely. Let's add it to the list. Nine is Neo. He said, oh, can you not buy Tron on Kraken? I don't know. Sup, hope BTC goes up now. We'll see, Carbon. We've been talking, Carbon Patrick, well, number one, welcome. Number two, we've been talking about why I am bearish on Bitcoin. And that's probably not what you want to hear, but in the short term, I'm actually a little bit more bearish on Bitcoin. So here's our channel. On this, it's more so of a falling wedge than anything else because it's pinching together ever so slightly. But the good news for this, well, technically bad news. The good news is that realistically, it'll probably never touch this support again. I don't think it can. No, okay, so the good news is it can never touch this support line again. So that's good. That's the good news for XRP over here. Because if you're holding this, you don't want it to ever have to touch this again. And it can't touch this again. It's actually impossible because it would have to be a negative number. And that's not possible in cryptos. So the bottom for XRP is probably closer than you think. Now, it could fall a whole lot of a freaking farther away. It could fall anywhere down in here, but it just can't touch the support line again. So we can pretty much get rid of this, to be honest, because it's impossible for it to ever touch again. Now we could probably draw something up like this. Oh, this is a whole lot better. So this is what we're looking at for XRP. That's actually good. Jeez. All right, so this is really good. 1, 2, now 3 touches on daily. This is a 4-hour chart, but on daily it has 4 separate daily touches, 4 separate swing lows. So if I was a betting man and I wanted the best area for buying XRP, which I do because I would love to accumulate some more XRP. It's one of the things on my list this year that I was talking about. And I was looking to buy more XRP. My best area of value, of course, is going to be buying on support. So somewhere probably around 29, anywhere from like 39 to 28 cents, somewhere in that area, is probably going to be my best area of value for an entry on an XRP swing trade or scalp or something. Now this thing's falling pretty violently right now. It fell right out of this pennant that we had it in. And now that it's heading down, again, I would like to see it come over here and touch support. And then maybe break out. That'd be great, right? This thing is a giant. This thing's almost the size of Bitcoin. So a breakout from XRP would be huge when it happens. I personally believe XRP is winding up for a pretty large move here in the next couple months. I think you're going to have XRP, like, maybe something like it's all over here. I don't know if it'll be that big, but I think it's winding up for a decent size move. That's my personal thoughts on XRP. Now, again, I am biased. I hold XRP, so let that be a disclaimer. I'm not getting paid by them or anything, but looking at XRP, I imagine here that it's going to be one of the next altcoins. And someone else who was just saying this? Someone in another Discord was actually just saying this. And they were talking about how XRP is going to be one of the next coins to probably take off as well. And they were talking also about, and I kind of believe this, you could never see XRP ever be at 24 cents again. It's possible. That's a pretty low price for XRP. I'm going to be honest. One of the most real-world use case coins. So if I was looking at an entry point for XRP, it'd be somewhere around 30 to 29 cents probably. So yeah, somewhere around 30 to 29 cents. That'd be my entry point for XRP. Probably lean more towards 29, and then see it in this area over here. That would be my best entry. Keep a type stop loss if I was trading it. Again, if I'm long-term holding it, you know, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. If I'm looking at this from the MACD is really not saying anything. The MACD is not going to say a whole lot because we just dumped. The RSI, on the other hand, can give us a little bit of a better reading. In fact, this is where we're going to switch it to the daily. Oh, look at that. Yikes. We have all sorts of scribbles in here. Alright, so this is what I want to be known. This thing, again, I think it has a little bit more room to fall on your daily. There's plenty of signs that this was coming. We've talked about RSI divergence. You know, lower high and then a lower swing high. This is a great sign that something is going to take a fall, is when you have a lower high on the same swing and then you have a lower high on a separate swing. So like lower high here and a lower high on a separate swing high over here. This is when you start knowing things are going to get bad. And then you have a lower high 3 times in a row on 3 separate swings. That's when you know things are actually going to start getting bearish. And of course, that's one we've seen. And now things are heading back downwards again. So I'd like to, and the way RSI works like this is that it's not like it's going to come down and touch, you know, perfectly over here to this line and bounce off. That's really not how the RSI works. It's not a candle chart. You can't treat it like that. But if I am using this, ideally, I would like to have it come somewhere within the range of this area, somewhere within the range of this support, to signify that it's still having consistent higher lows, and then probably a nice, again, a nice breakout towards the upside. And this is on a daily chart. Let's go ahead and go to our MACD. And there's really not much to say. Ooh. You finished double bullish divergence over here. And after that played out, again, you're just bearish now. Your oscillators are both pointing downwards. I think it's got, again, I personally believe a lot of these coins have more falling room before they bottom out here. So I think in the short term, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these coins keep on falling. If we're going over and we're looking at the next coin, we're going to go back to Bitcoin. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to Bitcoin now. We've been live streaming for about an hour, so we can go ahead and check back in on Bitcoin. We'll see what's happening. Ooh, daily close. Ooh, daily close, though, is above support. So daily close is above support. That's a good thing. It just started. The daily candle just started, though, so it's not really saying much yet. And you actually you might end this candle in the red. So you might not even get a green candle body close for Bitcoin, which is something that we were talking about earlier over here. So Bitcoin, not much has changed. The green candle switched from a green to a red. Still looking bearish. Pointing downwards. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the support line gets tested again. But we'll see. Still bearish on Bitcoin. There's really no reason for me not, for me not to. Next coin that we're looking at is XVG. We're going to go XVG to BTC. We're going to go ahead and do this on the Binance exchange. Oh, and this thing's actually making moves. What is this, a 4-hour chart? Alright, so I don't know why it looked weird. Let's go ahead and go through chat. Where's the next resistance for Tron? Oh, sorry, Gordon. TRX to BTC. Where's the next resistance for Tron? So it started hitting resistance up here in this area. Again, candle body closings over here. I would say next resistance for Tron would be somewhere around 1,000. You know, assuming that it breaks this, you would probably have resistance at 910 Satoshis. Beyond that, probably somewhere in the range of like 985, that whole range, 990. This range up here is going to be an area of resistance. And then beyond that, yeah, really kind of this whole range over here, because you have candle body closings here and here and here. And then above that, I would say 1,083, 1,080. Just looking at really just wherever there's a lot of candle body closings, which is where you got rejected over from in here because there's a whole lot. And wherever there's like previous highs is where there's going to be layers of selling orders. So if I was looking at exiting, or if I was looking at, you know, looking for more resistance on Tron, it'd be somewhere in this area, as the numbers I just said. So, and I don't really think it'll beat. I don't think it'll really get a higher high on the rally, to be honest. So maybe it comes back up here and touches some of these higher levels, but I really don't see it hitting 1,083 satoshis or anything crazy like that. Like, I would have a hard time seeing that happen and justifying that. But it's Tron, so. XRP is a good short. XRP is a good short. Short the pump coin. Going to bed now. Have a good night. Thanks for the analysis. Yo, Handy Ramps, thank you so much. Great to have you in here, dude. You have a great night. Bob said, why do alts have to suffer every time Bitcoin goes down? Most are pegged to it, but it's freaking annoying. Yeah, I completely agree, Bob. I don't think it's right either. I think a lot of these coins do so much work on their own, and it's not right that they go down and suffer for something else. I agree. XVG to BTC. That's what we're doing. XRP makes money from 2 in 2 years all the freaking time. Good coin. I actually enjoy XRP. It's a pretty love-hate relationship for most people. What do you think about 3,800 before down again? Do I think I'm going to do... Where is Bitcoin? I don't personally... Well, it's possible, actually. It's actually possible. We'll go back to it when we get back to Bitcoin in a second. I need to burn through some of these altcoins because we have a ton of them on the list. XVG, when's Wraith, when Moon? I can't tell you that. XR, you know, I don't hold any XVG. I'm trying to stay away from privacy coins from the time being. They're under so much fire right now with regulation and everything else that's happening. I am personally trying to just stay away from privacy coins until all that blows over. And then I'd love to enter back in and maybe buy some Monero or Dash, or like someone was just talking about Apollo. That's like another privacy coin. It was Mark Purdy. He was talking about Apollo or Verge or one of these ones. There's so many privacy coins now. 33 Mag says, when's Tesla? Well, I'm not sure. I would love to own a Tesla. Gordon says, thanks. Absolutely, Gordon. My pleasure. Oh, shoot. I got rid of my live stream. Sorry, guys. 1 second. I accidentally exited out of my chat, and now it's reloading. Anyway, well, while it's reloading, we'll go ahead and look at Verge. So, if I'm... Why does this chart look so weird, number one? The chart looks kind of odd. Well, support. We'll see if it holds. Why is this? I don't like how this looks. That's weird. Do all of them look like this? Either way, regardless, like, I mean, there's the same support. Pretty much. Has more room to fall. Verge isn't doing that bad. This is a 4-hour candle chart, so if I was looking at this, I would be looking at this being resistance, a lot of resistance up in this area. This being maybe some sort of support. It's kind of weak. It's not even verified yet, so I would say right now there's not even enough room to call this support yet. But you can at least draw something in here and hope for the best. And then probably draw something out like that. And then you can see how it goes from there. In the short term, though, of Verge, if I was looking at this, I would say I'd say it's probably something like this. So go ahead and connect these guys. Go ahead and do this. Sorry guys, this is a little bit of a harder chart to do, to be honest. You could probably say that this was some sort of like a falling wedge either way. Really, no matter how you want to draw it, or maybe even just a bull flag and the breakout. So now it broke out, and the good thing, the good note to hear up here about Verge is that it's respecting this resistance. So this thing has touched a ton of times. Obviously, is so like all in here. It touched it again. So if you were shorting, I mean, unless you're hoping for the breakout of this thing right now, then, geez, look at this chart. Unless you're hoping for the breakout of this thing right now, then, you know, ideally the best opportunity, if I wanted to short this, or if one wanted to short this, would be somewhere up here. Now, keep in mind, you do have a double top on your 4 hour. Not a good sign. A double top on a 4 hour is a bearish thing to see. This chart is a little weird though, so like I don't know. It's a weird chart because so many of these could be double tops. You could be like, well, this is a quadruple top. I don't know. It's a weird chart. But if this was a normal chart, then like even the charts, it just looks funky. Maybe that's just me being weird, but this just looks like a weird chart. Double top if this was normal and it's at the top of resistance, so I really wouldn't want to long up here if I was trying to trade a Verge. Again, I would probably wait till it gives me a little bit better of an entry, let this play out, let it consolidate, let it bleed. You know, if it does break out, then you can always re-enter back in, I guess, and keep a trailing stop loss or something. But after it just touched this, you know, major resistance that it's had for a while over here, I don't really see any of a reason to enter back into a trade at this point. Because again, resistance all the way down, hit resistance, got rejected, now falling back down. I would imagine that it keeps on falling from this point, just like most of the altcoins at this point right now, and not too bullish on Verge. If I'm looking at this, it looks not confirmed yet. This is a daily. If this sets up for daily bearish divergence on your RSI, watch out, because it could be forming a higher low on your RSI daily. If you're looking at this from a 4 hour, if you're looking at this from a 4 hour, you could be having a double top on your RSI. You could. Honestly, I would say that it's actually setting up for a bearish, but my history of TA is telling me that I've seen stuff like this actually pump fake and then break through the ceiling and go over into overbought territory on your 4 hour and then come back down. So it could, I mean, it might have one more leg up in it. It's hard to say. The TA in me, the history of doing technical analysis and looking at charts is telling me this thing could have one more leg up, but the TA, from a TA standpoint right now, I'm bearish on Tron. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But again, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty in between, to be honest. Moving on. Waves. What is Waves? Waves to BTC? Binance. Sorry guys, a little tired. Had a long day. What do we got over here? What am I thinking about DGTX future? Explain to me a little bit more, Mr. Patrick. Dash is a very good coin for the future, says 33 mag. I do not own any. Again, I don't own any of the privacy coins. Alright, let's go over to Waves to BTC, and then we're going to do VeChain, and then we're going to go back to Bitcoin, and then we're going to go over to Ethereum Classic, then to Neo. So we got a lot of things over here. Now this one, I actually like this chart. I like this chart. We could actually have some nice stuff setting up for us. I don't know where I want to draw my resistance line. Probably this is our best bet. So that's another thing, guys, about this stuff is experimenting a little bit. Don't be afraid to experiment. I was thinking about going up here, but that's, I mean, when I was drawing that out in my head, it really didn't make much sense. Like, maybe I get, like, I just kind of skip over everything. You know, where can I get the most candle body touchings? If that's a word. It'd probably be in this area. So it's still getting the same point across. It would be a falling wedge, actually, over here for waves. I do want to say that there is actually what I believe to be a second support. Probably somewhere over here in this area. I think either way, though, yeah, either way, it comes out to be a falling wedge. So regardless, I think that this would form a falling wedge. The only difference is that maybe the bottom on this, as we can see, maybe the bottom's a little bit lower than we're anticipating. But I think regardless of how you look at this, it's actually a little bit bullish, and it looks like it's actually sitting up a bull flag. And so what I mean by this, again, guys, bull flags, bear flags, we talked about this in the last live stream. It came all the way up here. Now it's rallying, and now it's actually setting up a bull flag, and it could actually go look for another breakout. So somewhere over here in this area, it can actually be looking for some sort of a breakout. The only bad thing that I would say about waves is that it is below its 200 EMA and it's below its 400, or not 400, it's below its 200 EMA and 50 MA and 50 EMA. So it's currently below all of its moving averages. They're acting as resistance. Double top on your 4 hour, which isn't nice to see. And looking at your MACD, it's actually kind of looking like you're looking at bullish exhaustion. But then again, your oscillators are pointing up, so that's kind of contradicting stuff up here. Could be a bear trap, to be honest. And your RSI is actually looking kind of good. So yeah, this could be like a bear trap sort of deal. Honestly, this looks pretty good. I would say that this is setting up for some bullish price action. The only thing that you have to watch out for, and again, this is not long term, but just like the breakout wise, I would just say watch out, because if it falls through this range, and if it falls through the bottom of this falling wedge and it doesn't play out, it's going to be a fast fall for you, like a really fast fall. Like if you don't hold the support line, you're falling probably straight to like this range. If like, you know, so if I was holding waves and this doesn't play out, I'm having a type stop loss, because this is probably the next area of support, and then this, and then maybe in here, maybe that's again weak, and then you don't have any support again until you get back down into like this range, and that's so far below, and like you don't even want to, there's no reason for you to fall all the way down there. Like there would be a billion places for you to exit. So I would just say, again, watch out, because we are in a bear market still, and for stuff like this, you have to take that into account. So while it does look bullish, we're in a bear market. The trend is your friend. Keep a type stop loss. You don't want the floor to fall from underneath you on this one. VEC, and then we're gonna do. Oh, what is VeChain to Bitcoin? There we go. What's the letters for VeChain? VET. That's what it is. Oh, is that the same chart? My bad. Alright, let's go ahead and go through chat for a second. Make sure everyone's still in here. Everyone's still live. Everyone's still doing good. Where are you guys from, by the way? All you guys in chat. Where are you guys from? Go ahead and type it in the chat real fast. I want to see where you guys are from. Can you look at Cardano? Absolutely. I'll add to the list. Number 10, ADA. All right. Got it on the list, Patrick. Isn't BTC considered a privacy coin? Yeah, so it actually kind of is. I would say it's kind of like a mixed yes and no. Like it's not like a full-on privacy coin, but it is still a privacy. Like Monero and Dash and Verge and what's it called, Pivx. A lot of those are like full-on privacy coins. They're made with the purpose of like, you know, being used for that purpose. But yeah, you're not wrong, Bell. It is technically a privacy coin. Portugal, wow. Miguel, great to have you in here from Portugal. Gaines, great to have you in here from South Jersey. My family's from kind of around that area. Vel, great to have you from all the way from Netherlands. Wow. Otter from Missouri. Fest from Slovenia. Wow, I actually lived over, I don't know if that's too close to Ukraine, but I lived in Ukraine/Russia for a little while. So great to have you from over there. Mississippi Poker Throat. Carbon Patrick's from Canada. Great to have you from Canada. BNB will add it to the list. Got a whole stacked list tonight, boys. New Orleans. Great to have you from New Orleans, Gordon. Glad to be here. Yeah, great to have you guys. I appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and get back into this technical analysis. We're going to do VeChain, and then we're going to go back to Bitcoin and start doing another technical analysis of Bitcoin, checking up on it, seeing how it is. Again, guys, my name is the Crypto Analyst. I think that there has been a decent amount of new people in here tonight. If you guys are enjoying the content or have any questions, comment those questions. I'm pretty fast about answering them. I try to do my best. And if you guys are enjoying it, drop a like, subscribe. It helps out a lot. So let's go ahead and look at VeChain. All right, sorry, I thought I missed something. All right, let's go ahead and tie this in. So VeChain is looking... The VeChain could be poised for something. We'll see. First things first, we want to go ahead and draw these overbearing resistances. And I think that the better way to actually draw this one is to probably do something like that. Man, there's really no good way to draw this one. At least not from like a big term perspective. Because how could we correlate? Maybe something like... Because you had resistances, but you broke them. That's the hard thing here, is that you definitely had resistances over in this area, but you managed to break them all. And if we draw up a regressional trend line over here, like you'll see, like you're a little bit overbought, but nothing too crazy. And while you have, getting notifications, and while you have over here what looks to be double rejection on a 4-hour candle from your 200 EMA, that's something to take note of again. But you're also bouncing off your 50 EMA and MA. So it looks like you're starting to get a little bit squeezed in between your 200 and your 50s. And this is the hard thing about low market cap coins, guys. And even VeChain isn't that low of a market cap coin, but it's really hard to do technical analysis on stuff like this because this is what it looks like. And it's just so hard to read and interpret. Like here you could be saying on your 4-hour MACD, you could be looking at some sort of like a double bottom, maybe. But like, again, it's going to be really hard to read. It's going to be really hard to do TA on this kind of thing because it's just too low of a market cap, to be honest. And it's going to follow Bitcoin regardless. So if I was looking at this, maybe even from a daily perspective, I would say, hey, look, you actually have a double bottom over here. You actually have a tweezer double bottom right here, which is really good, which is what caused this spike, in my opinion. Came up, touched your 50 EMA, got rejected from it. You're falling back down. You had a higher high, so that's good to know as well. You had rejection from it over here as well. Let's see. Yeah, so you've been rejecting this thing the whole way down. Like you can just see the orange line is the 50 EMA, and it has just been, every time it's touched it, just rejection, rejection, rejection. Touch it again, rejection. Touched it over here, actually pierced through, but now it's still rejection. And now you're getting rejected from your 50 MA below your 50 EMA. You don't even have a 200 EMA up here yet. So you're using this, your double bottom over here. We'll see if this holds. Right for the current time, you're getting rejected. Right now, it's looking bearish to me in the short term, but looks like it could be setting up maybe some sort of a reversal. Maybe it is bullish. Because your daily is actually not looking that bad. You're having lower highs on your daily, which is really good, actually. So, but now at this point, it's just neutral. So, like at this point, it's just neutral, and there's not too much else to say. So, that's it for VeChain. I hope that made some sort of sense. But again, it's a low market cap cryptocurrency, so it's hard to do like some of these hard breakdowns of it. And my best thing to say is that at the end of the day, the thing that's going to drive this price up and down is like news and fundamentals and Bitcoin moving. And that's really what it comes down to around this area. Mark Purdy said from Tennessee, great to have you, Mark Purdy. Goku's from Canada. Goku the Super Saiyan, great to have you. All right, let's go back to Bitcoin. What do we got happening on Bitcoin to the US dollar over here? On our Coinbase exchange, we're going to go ahead and switch this back to a 4-hour. Still have a red candle. And I know some of you guys had questions on Bitcoin. So anyone who had questions on Bitcoin, you guys can go ahead and ask those now before I move back to, because I think we have to cover Ethereum Classic, Neo, and Cardano. And then we can come back to Bitcoin again. But I know people had questions about Bitcoin, so I don't want to skip over those before we move on from here. And I guess while you guys are typing in the questions and getting things ready, again, guys, oh, Vela had something. He said, for instance. What's for instance? Let's go and check this out. All right. So yeah, another thing, guys, is, you know, if you guys are enjoying the video, if you guys are enjoying the TA, drop the like button, drop the subscribe button. We're pushing for 4,000 subscribers right now. The goal is to have it by the end of this weekend. That's my personal goal that I'm setting for myself. I'm going to be pumping out content. Hopefully we can get ourselves up to 4,000 subscribers by then. And yeah, so again, if you guys enjoy it, drop a like. I'm here to answer your guys' questions. My name is the Crypto Analyst. You guys can call me Brendan. I go by Brendan TCA as well. And there's not too much else to say. Oh yeah, so if you guys are interested, we have links in the description. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's completely free, no strings attached. You join, it's a community of us and traders and people in cryptocurrency. We talk about crypto, we post crypto news, crypto-related topics. We kind of talk about it. We do TA in there. It's a pretty cool environment that we get to talk about. It's pretty chill, which is really nice. And we also have the Patreon again, if you guys want to support that. Link to that is in the description below. The Patreon from today, guys, is completely free. You guys can go and view. I did a complete Bitcoin write-up and a complete Bitcoin technical analysis, breaking it down, explaining why I was bearish, what happened today, and where I'm looking at it to go from here, potential targets that I would scalp or long at. Again, you guys can go and view that. I think there's a link to that. Let me go ahead and grab a link to that, because I think people were asking about it, or people wanted it earlier. And I just never threw it up. Again, it's cool. It's a completely free write-up that I did. Usually I do charge like a monthly fee, but the one that I did today is completely free. So I do want to make sure everyone has access to it. But back to chat. What are we saying over here? For instance, you must spend 0.5 BTC on BitMEX. Where would you place them? Oh, for instance, if you must... Okay, I see what you're saying. So Veld asked if I had 0.5 BTC and I had to invest them and spend them on BitMEX, where would I place them? Well, in this area, I would set... If I had 0.5 BTC on BitMEX right now, I would be looking for this thing to peak up a little bit higher over here. Go to this on a 30. Looks like it's forming a bear flag. I'd look for something like this to come back up, peak a little bit higher over here. Maybe not a new high, but I'd be really fine with an entry anywhere in this area, probably around 3,641 if I was looking for an entry, but that's on Coinbase. I don't know what that is on Max. It's different. But I would be looking for an entry probably somewhere around 3,641 on a Coinbase exchange. And if it could hit anywhere in that area, I'll be fine with just leaving a short in there, keeping a tight stop loss on it in case, you know, things do reverse. It does pump. You know, I get stopped at right away and I don't lose my capital. I would personally probably enter into something like a 10x. Maybe at the most, I would enter into a 25x trade here. 25x leverage trade, but for the most part I almost always do 10x leverage. It's my favorite, and I would probably that's literally what I would do is I would enter, obviously not all 5.5 BTC, but I would enter, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. Everyone trades different amounts. I would trade this and I would put a short in here probably at about 10x leverage, and that's what I would do. And I might do that after we get off live stream tonight. Not saying I will, not saying I won't, because no matter what I say, people are going to try to follow my trades. And you should never copy someone's trades, because you're always going to be one step behind. I know that's super, super stupid, but trust me, you don't want to copy other people's trades. where would you spend them? Do you use stable coins? That's a great question. So, do I use stable coins? I used to. And I think they're okay for the time being, but they cannot go on forever. They cannot numerically last forever, because it is impossible to keep them alive and backed by monetary values and cash flows, because eventually the market cap for them will become too big and you will not be able to back up the capital to the stablecoin, and then it collapses, and then everyone who holds it screwed. And like if the crypto market cap goes to like $50 trillion or something, and then like Tether is worth like crazy amounts of money, like $1 trillion, like no one's going to be able to say we have $1 trillion in cash to back up what we're saying over here. Like they physically cannot do that. They will not have the money for that. Like they won't, they won't. And then once it's found out, it'll collapse. And it's such a dangerous game. But like while the market caps are great and small, it's cool. But like again, it's a dangerous game. Those things are waiting to implode. So I don't use them anymore. But yeah, I don't use them anymore. I used to a lot. Where would you position yourself in me? Oh, okay, I think I answered that. Well, there we go. Miguel says some have scalping solutions that also work as a negative, because it can cap your platform growth if you rely on them. Yeah, it's true. I think I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you if I'm understanding that correctly. Anyway, back to the TA over here. Not really much to say on Bitcoin. I guess there was no other questions. Let's go ahead and look at our next coin. What was our next coin? All right, so we're going to do Ethereum Classic, and then we're going to move our way over to Neo, and then we're going to do Cardano, and we're going to come back to Bitcoin, and hopefully there'll be some movement by then. Ethereum Classic to the Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at this on Binance. So this one's actually a little bit better. Well, let's see what we can do. Over here, watch out for a potential head and shoulder forming on Ethereum Classic. Just a note. Well, I don't even know if it could be. Well, could it? It's like an inverse BART. It's like not even, I don't know if it's even like a head and shoulder. Like can we even call this a head and shoulder? Like, and then maybe like a shoulder. Maybe. I would just say watch out for that. I don't think it's going to play out. I don't even know what to call it. It's more of like an inverse BART, right? I don't know. That's kind of weird. Regardless, keep an eye on Ethereum Classic. We're going to say this is support just because these are the past two swing lows that we have. So it's not really defined support as of yet. You want at least 3 touch points when you're looking at support for stuff like this. So for the time being, this is going to have to act as support. You're below all of your moving averages, which isn't the best of signs. In the good news, though, in the short term, well, we can go ahead and draw this out. We can go ahead and draw something like this out. And maybe you have a falling wedge or something like that, like that in this area. So maybe you have a falling wedge playing out actually for Ethereum Classic. So maybe it does actually bounce in this area. Again, name of the game is always going to be stop losses. They save lives, literally, and monetarily. And this thing's actually making some nice moves right now. So it looks like, again, it's touching this resistance line. It's playing into effect. And in a perfect world, if this is a falling wedge, it'll break out. It's a little bit steep to be a falling wedge, but it's still possible nonetheless. That's really the best that I would have to say for this thing. If I was looking at it any other way, and again, it's another low market cap coin. It's really not looking that bad right now. I mean, this is your 4-hour chart. Higher swing low in your 4-hour MACD. If you're looking at this from a 1-day, it's really doing the same deal. So you just came from oversold territory. You're a little bit neutral. You're coming down over here. And now you're really just in neutral territory. So you went from being oversold to overbought. And now you're just kind of sitting in neutral land. So all of this is pretty neutral for the time being. Maybe it's a little bit more bullish than bearish. But again, it's hard to make predictions on these lower market cap altcoins. The TA is just generally not as reliable because no matter, this could say bullish all the way, and then if Bitcoin dumps, then it's going to dump with it. So there's maybe, again, so you, either way, regardless, you do have support in this area. You do have support in this area. You have all these candle body closings that I want to talk about over in here. So I want to go ahead and highlight that as well. So you do have support in this area. Nothing too crazy is happening. You know, ideally you would want to hold this because, well, I mean, you have no support. If you fall through this, like, that's the worst thing that could happen for Ethereum Classic at this point, is that it falls and then it has no support, because then you're just blind. And when you're looking at this stuff blind and just saying, okay, well, where are we going to stop next? There's nothing to measure it from. So you're just praying that, like, you eventually stop somewhere. And that's pretty much what happened, right? You fell through this and you're just like, all right, where are we going to stop? And then you double bottom. So if you caught that, you would say, okay, we double bottomed right here. Tweezer double bottom. Talked about that. And I was just reading over here. I don't know what this is. I forget when I did this. When is this from? This is from April of last year. I think I remember looking at this and being like, oh, what was it? I think I was saying, no, it's not a reversal pattern. And then it just kind of died. Fell off the cliff. I don't remember. Neo to BTC. All right, let's go ahead and get Neo in here. What's your chat saying? Scaling like DAI from MakerDAO. What about MakerDAO? DAI. Prioritize stability versus scalability. They can limit its adoption. I need to gain more intel. Yeah, same here. Yo, Rob G, great to have you, dude. Welcome back. Rob G is one of the man. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and look at Neo over here. Oh, this is one of the ones that I was actually talking with a Patreon as well. We were actually just talking about this in a private call. Oh, stretch. All right. So what are we doing over here? No, okay. Here's what we're doing. We're looking at Neo to the US dollar tether. That's what we're doing, because this is what we were talking about, and it fell through. So we're looking at this. It broke out. Bull trap happened, and it fell right back into this. And was it really a bull trap, or was it just following Bitcoin? To be honest, I think it was just following Bitcoin. I think it was setting itself up for a nice run, and then Bitcoin dumped, and it had to follow because cryptocurrencies are tethered to Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and erase all this. Basically, I was saying that there was this, I was just kind of highlight what was happening. And it was a shame that Bitcoin happened to do this right now, and it fell right through support too. Jeez. And now it's actually, okay, so let's highlight this. There's actually a lot to break down here. So we have our support line over here. False breakout, falls back down through, doesn't even stop, falls straight through the ceiling of this ascending triangle. And then falls straight through the floor of it as well. Falls straight through its 50 EMA, right through its 50 MA, right through its 200 EMA, right through its giant support line. And now that it has wicked under the support line, closed under it with a 4-hour candle, it's coming back up, getting rejected from what was support, now being used as resistance over here in this area. And now you're actually having double resistance getting rejected from both the 200 EMA and what was this giant support line. So previous support equals now resistance because you're underneath of it, and you're also using the 200 EMA as resistance again, which we have seen all in this area again was a giant level of resistance. So now Neo is actually looking pretty bearish for the time being. Again, it's going to follow Bitcoin regardless, but if you're looking at Neo by itself right now, at least to the US dollar tether, you're looking at this as a very bearish situation because, again, you can't just look at this and say, all right, double rejection from what used to be support, double rejection from the 200 EMA. It fell through all of its supports, no questions asked, formed its first green 4-hour candle underneath resistance, and immediately your first green candle that you appeared since you fell through the floor was a rejection candle. So looking at Neo, again, it's not that great. It could be saying that you could be getting some sort of time for a bounce or consolidation. But like, it's just a pretty hefty drop up here. Almost a double top, but slightly higher. And let's look at this one from a 1 day's perspective. Again, this thing, poor thing, dude. It's brutal. It was actually setting up, okay, so double bearish divergence on your MACD. This is when the MACD is actually pointing something else to us tonight. Double bearish divergence on your MACD. Oscillators are starting to round. Your blue one's already pointing downwards. And okay, so what I would actually imagine, actually, this is what I've talked about before, is that in this kind of scenario, it's not, you know, it's not, I don't know what the word would be. It's common that something like this happens where it comes up to this area and then it kind of retraces back down here over here, creates a higher low, and then keeps on going until it's overbought, or at least somewhere close to it. Personally, I would believe that that's what would be happening, because over here you're continually getting lower and lower on your 1 day RSI, which is pretty significant, all the way back up to December, and then here you actually have your first real higher. And so we're gonna see when Neo comes over here and swings down again, we're gonna see if it keeps this pattern and this trend line over here going, or if it's actually gonna break this and have, you know, for the first time, a swing high that is higher than its previous one over here, and it breaks this cycle. And I personally believe that it will. So time will tell, but I believe that it will. It'll break this cycle, at least on its 1 day RSI, and that'll actually start to set in pace a start of movements that can start helping this thing towards like long-term goals. Again, 1 day you have a daily rejection candle, not good as well. Below this, you do have your MA. You kind of bounced off of it. I don't really think that it's too correlated. You know, we'll see if it holds. But it's my thoughts on Neo right now. Cardano, do you guys? Okay, so I'll let you guys decide, chat. $3,100 next week. It's crazy because in the comment section of my videos, I'll get people who will be like calling. Essentially, everyone's just calling different things. You know, I'll get people that are like 5,000 by next week, and then I'll get people that are like 3,000 by next week. I would lean more towards 3,000, but there are people who say 5,000 by Monday. And I love seeing all the different perspectives. I think it's so entertaining, and it's good for me, because getting different perspectives makes sure that you're not biased. Do you guys want Cardano to the US dollar, or do you guys want Cardano to the Bitcoin? But I see it all, Rob. What's the next coin for Coinbase? Oh, that's a good question. We'll talk about that. We will talk about that, Gordon. Don't let me forget. The slower we fall, the lower we bottom. All right, USD, BTC. Oh, we got mixed feelings. We have mixed feelings. BTC, USD. The USD. BTC, all right, BTC has it. Cardano to Bitcoin, here we go. Let's take a technical analysis over here of it. The people have spoken. I am sorry, Poker Throat. Jeez, this is a mess. I haven't charted this in a long time. It's been months, jeez. I need to erase all of this. All right, so here we go. So this is a 1 day chart. First thing I'm going to do is try to find at least some sort of a support line over here. You can draw it down here with the wicks, or you can actually skip the wicks. This is one of the ones where you can actually skip the wicks and you can just go to the candle body closings. Really, either way, it doesn't matter. You can show that these things both have piercing candles through, but either way, there's support in this area. It's so close, it doesn't really matter, so you can draw it either way. If I'm doing this, I'm actually being careful, because this is where I'm actually going to switch it over to a 4 hour, because it looks like it could be forming some sort of like a rising wedge or something over here. Or maybe Well, let's find out. So I would say first support line could be like, oops, oh man, what did I just do? First support line could be somewhere around this area. No, maybe not. We actually have to redo this. So I would say first support line would actually be somewhere around this area over here. Right in this area. Well, could we? How can we do this without being too sloppy? I think I like this. So let's keep it around this. We'll actually bring it down just a little bit. And then this way, we'll change this color to make this look better. Change this to like red, and then boom. So this is my thoughts on Cardano right now. I think that you do have a nice uptrend going with you right now, but I think that you have to start being careful a little bit, because if I was drawing this, I would do something along the lines of this. I would connect these two previous ones, and actually this could actually be a good, because this could actually be a parallel channel for Cardano. And that wouldn't be the worst case. That'd actually be kind of decent, because then if this, so let's just say that this is, for the sake of argument, this is a parallel channel. I don't think you have enough touches in here to verify this is a parallel channel. You only have 2 touches on resistance. I think the support line is pretty nice regardless, but resistance is where we're kind of iffy, because it would make sense though, because it looks like it has a heart line in here. So like maybe if we tried to draw out something like this, it'd be possible. Yeah, so actually let's just go and do that. It'll be way easier. So boom, this is, let's just say that this is our sloppy parallel channel that we have drawn up in here. You have your support line down here, you have your heart line again acting as resistance all the way over here, and this is what we're looking at. So if you're looking at Cardano and you're trying to get a good entry in, or if I'm trying to get a good entry for Cardano and I'm looking at this, then I would ideally want to buy again on support. This is the support line that, again, you always, support is the best area of value when you're looking to purchase things, because again, I don't know, it's pretty self-explanatory, because it's support and you have the least, it's the least risky area, because the easiest thing that you can do is you set a buy. I set a buy in here. So let's just say, you know, I buy on support, right? And I think it's going to come back down. I think it's going to touch over here. So I set a buy order, and then I set a stop loss like right here. And that way, if it falls out of this resistance, or if it falls out of this channel and then falls back to like the 200 EMA or something crazy, I get stopped out right here. I entered a buy. It didn't play through. You know, again, it's the safest area to buy, so I just set a stop loss right here. I barely lose anything. The risk versus reward, if we want to do a chart like that, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's actually draw this up. Let's actually draw this up like a trader and explain why this is a good, like why we would do this here. So like, let's just say that this is where we went along, right? This is your entry zone. Anything below this is your stop loss. So you enter anywhere in the red and anywhere below, and then you close anywhere in the green. So the green would be probably up here or something like that. Over here, the risk versus reward, I almost knocked my water over. The risk versus reward is a 9.9 to 1. So again, it's a 9.9 risk versus reward, almost a 10, with your stop loss being at only 1.69%. So most traders over here are saying, all right, the risk versus reward is worth it. If I get stopped out, I lose 1, maybe 2%, depending on how you want to keep your stop loss here. The potential to gain is 16.7% at best, right? So maybe you gain 10%. Let's be, I don't know what the word is, conservative here. You gain 10%, you risk 2%. That's still like good odds. So that's why when you buy at support and stuff like this, it is your best area of value. So hopefully that made some sense. Oh, I gotta stretch. Sorry guys, I was in a car all day. I just drove back up to the apartment, which is why we have the whole studio now, which is cool. But my back's a little. I also broke my chair up here, so I'm in a wooden chair now. I am in it's like an old school wooden chair from like, I don't know where. I bought it because I needed an extra one. So if I'm looking at this from the RSI, 4 hours met. Let's go to our MACD before we get rid of this. It's kind of bearish, to be honest. It's really not saying much. And this is MACD is bearish. Oscillators, orange is rounding off. Blue is already pointing downwards, already rounding. This is saying bearish. You're getting, essentially why this is bearish is you're getting lower levels of positive volume, and that's why this is starting to not look too hot. Again, your MACD is fading off over here. This is your positive momentum. This is a representation of your bulls. While it is a little bit delayed, you're looking at this and saying, all right, they are slowly and gradually leaving the market, excuse me, God, I can't talk, from this chart. But you have your RSI, and this is your daily RSI, and this is saying, hey, you're making higher highs over here. You're still making higher lows. You know, nothing to be afraid of yet. Now, once you start getting higher lows in your RSI, which is a big sign for me that you need to be vigilant. Now, again, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. Looks like it wants to return to a neutral zone. That's just my thoughts on Cardano. I think it'll play out. I think it wants to return to a neutral zone, and I think that that's what it's going to do. If we look at this from a daily chart, really not too much different. I mean, we could bring this down just a little bit and raise this guy up just a tad. So this is what it looks like from a daily chart. It looks pretty clean. I mean, you see the heart line acting as resistance. You see the channel being fairly respected, and there's really not too much else to say. Where would Cardano go from here if it wanted to get a new higher high? It'd probably go up and start conquering probably this level over in this range. Around 1,400 Satoshis would be my next guess. That'd be where it would at least have some resistance, somewhere over in that range. So that's my thoughts on Cardano. We're going to go ahead back to Bitcoin now and check in on the good old Bitcoin. That's the wrong exchange. We don't do Bitfinex here. Right, guys? We don't do Bitfinex here. We might trade, but we don't do them the chart. That's for sure. All right. Really not too much has changed. I think we've had a good live stream so far. I think this has been a good one. We've actually learned. I feel like we've gone through like a lot of technical analysis and knowledge. And we've been teaching some good stuff tonight, like just learning in general. We've looked at a lot of good charts. Leaning more towards an ascending triangle wedge. Which one were you talking about, Rob G? Oh, so Gordon, yeah. So Goku, we'll get to BNB next. But I was talking to Gordon about the next coin for Coinbase. One second, guys. I want to pull up an article here. And it's from Coinbase themselves. Okay. I might not actually be able to use this article. So there is an article that Coinbase put out from themselves giving a list of cryptocurrencies that they want to add. And I want to be able to find that for you guys so we can actually use it. And I'm trying to skim through this real fast. Coinbase planning to add. Okay, I think this is the video. Sorry guys, just bear with me for 1 second. I do want to make sure that I get this out there. And oh man, actually I didn't link it. All right. So let's see if this is it. I think I found it. Oh, this is the one. Okay, so this is an article that I used from forever ago. Wow. That just blinded me. That was bright. This is an article I used from forever ago of how I knew what coins were coming to Coinbase. This is from the Coinbase blog themselves, and this was released in July 13th of 2018, obviously before any of these coins were listed. And if we scroll out, they actually talk about Ethereum Classic down in here. They also hint at the fact, this is before Ethereum Classic was on there, but I talked about why this was an Easter egg and why they were going to add it, because they were talking as if they already had it added for compatibility, and then next thing you know, it was there. So then, of course, I think all of these are added by now, but Cardano, BAT, XLM, Zcash, and 0x. These are all the ones that they've been focusing on. And then they also have a list over here of these. And this is where things actually start getting a little bit crazier, because they have a ton of them on here. And we go and we zoom in on this list, and you have Cardano, Eternity, Aragon, Bread Wallet, Civic, Day, District 0x, Engine, EOS, Golem, IOST, Kin. I've been hearing a ton about Kin lately. I don't own any though. Cyber Network, Chainlink, Loom Network, Loop Spring, Decentraland, aka Mana, Mainframe Maker, Neo, Amise Go. I really like Amise Go. Poet, Quark Chain, Augur, Request Network, Status, Storage, Stellar, XRP, which I know all of you guys in chat are freaking out about, that Coinbase actually posted. This is from Coinbase too. Like the logo's right there, and this is from like the Coinbase blog. So they actually posted this. Tezos. I think someone was just asking about Tezos too. Someone was just like, "Oh man, I really hope that they add Tezos." Right? Someone was just asking about that. I don't use Bitfinex. It's an outlier. Yeah, I don't use Bitfinex. I don't trade on it, and I don't chart on it. So, and then of course the last one being Zilliqa. So, I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this so I stop looking like a ghost. But this is them essentially saying and I'll go ahead and I'll tell you what. I'll leave a link to this right now so that you guys can actually go ahead and explore this. If you guys want to keep it, you guys can use this. I highly recommend that you guys stay in touch with the Coinbase blog. They're always pumping out stuff of like updates of what's happening to Coinbase, new coins that they're looking into, and if you like subscribe to it, then you get access before anyone else. And like the second that they post about wanting to add a new coin, then you can get that notification like immediately, right? So, and I believe it's free. So, not sure what is the next one, but everyone will be able to bake Tezos at Coinbase in the future. They're looking at a lot of staking coins. Yeah, that's the thing, is that they needed more proof of stake coins, so that's why they were looking into them. I think Neo and ADA is next. Was Neo on the list? Yeah, Neo was on the list. Is Cardano not on Coinbase? Yeah, I thought it was on Coinbase Pro already. Maybe it's not. Jeez. Yeah, no, I think Cardano for sure. I think Cardano, XRP. Is Stellar Lumens? I haven't been to Coinbase Pro in forever. So for the time being, Coinbase Pro. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the video, drop a like, hit the subscribe button if you guys do enjoy and you guys want to watch more of these. Helps out the channel a lot. And yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and wait, can I pull this up? Actually, I think so. I think this is either a dummy account or this is an account where I don't have anything in it. All right, you know what? Screw it. So over here, so this is what they have listed already. Do they have? Oh wow, so they already have Day, Golem, Loom, Civic, District, Decentraland, Zcash, Basic, Attention, BAT, 0x, Ethereum Classic, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Bitcoin. So wow, they don't have Stellar Lumens yet either. Wow. So I would say, yeah, Stellar Lumens, XRP, Cardano are going to be some of the next ones that they're maybe, I don't know, I think Kin's going to take a little longer, but I would love to see them add Kin. I think that'd be giant. I don't think that they will be able to yet, but yeah, so that's what they have listed right now. Oh, this is the wrong way. That's crazy. What were you guys saying? Yeah, so anyway, I dropped that in chat, so you guys are welcome to go ahead and view that. We're going to go ahead and stay up here, guys. We have 5 minutes left for the candle body for the 4-hour candle closing on the Bitcoin chart. So 5 minutes until the 4-hour candle closing happens. So we're going to be sticking around for this. We're going to be keeping a close eye on Bitcoin. We want to know where this next candle is going to go because it's going to be a pretty big candle for Bitcoin. And I personally, because again, I want to be trading in this area. It's a shame, man. It's a shame I had to drive all day. I could have made so many good trades. But again, I want to be trading in this area, so, or at least scalping. So we have 5 minutes over here. It's going to be a pretty big candle. Are we going to see our first green candle on the Coinbase chart? You know, in the past, since the fall. You know, we're going to find out. So we only have about, well, now we have under 5 minutes left. I'll go ahead and exit out of this notepad over here. Oh, someone said BNB to BTC. So I guess in the meantime, we can go ahead and take a look at Binance Coin, which is a coin I'm bullish on. I like Binance Coin. I like the exchange Binance as well. Excuse me. Got a little bit of a yawn there. All right, so let's go ahead and draw this up. What am I looking at over here? Well, I would say even if we cut this out, I think it's all right. I think we're going to draw something like that. Do something along the lines of... Could we actually... Hold up. Okay, so the name of the game here is going to be a parallel channel again. And I think that's going to be our best bet. The more I use this, the more I actually like the parallel channel tool. I used to kind of get triggered when people would just spam it. But it's actually fairly useful. So, for the most part, again, usually I set these things up nice and clean. For the sake of the video, we're gonna kind of just make it there so we can get an overlying perspective. So you guys get the overall picture here. Again, support 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, almost 4 touch, not quite, and then resistance all the way up. So you have 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. There's tons of touches on resistance. You have your heart line acting as resistance. Again, and here it's a very good example of how the heart line was acting as resistance in this area. Just bouncing in and off of it over here, bouncing off of it again over here, bouncing again, resistance over here. So it's usually, at least as of recently, the heart line's been using more as resistance than it has been for support, which it's supposed to act as both, but as of recently it's been very hard resistance, probably because we're in a bear market and the trend is your friend. But so if I was looking at a good entry point for BNB, and assuming that it was going to keep following this trend over here, which is kind of scary how parabolic it's gone, but if I was looking at my best entry, at least from a channel perspective, I would be looking somewhere around either support, so maybe somewhere in this area, probably around from, oh, and this isn't the US dollar, this is the Bitcoin. So I don't know, again, this is what the Satoshi value of this is. It's a big number. I think it's like 15,900. 15,800 to 15,000 to like 16,000. Somewhere along this line of support or on your 50 EMAs. Because again, your 50 EMA and MA are going to act as support. They're still acting as support over in here. You know, if they break that, this would be an even better entry point. And if it breaks this resistance line, it's the same as the rest of the stories over here, and that it would fall back down. Where's our tool? It would fall over, and it would probably meet the 200 EMA, probably somewhere around this area. It would fall, meet it there, and then probably bounce off of it. Now, if it fell straight through the 200 EMA, it would be a little bit scarier. But I don't know. I don't see anything too much to worry about with BNB right now. It's in a very long channel. That's not very long. It's been around since November. So it's pushing towards 2 months of life in this channel. And, you know, it doesn't seem like it's slowing down yet. Again, best area of entry if I wanted to buy some would be somewhere in this area. On support, you could do it on your EMAs and just keep a type stop loss there if you're feeling a little bit more risky and maybe you're just long-term holding it. But I think regardless, again, be vigilant if this thing does fall out of a channel. It's been in this channel for a while now. Just like take a gander at it and and realize that, you know, if it does fall out of this, it'll be you know, it'll be a decent drop. So I don't know. I mean, it's looking pretty healthy, to be honest. I am not looking at this and I'm not like scared or. All right, this is a little bit more scary. Yeah, so this is where actually it gets a little bit more scary. I don't know. This is an exchange coin though, so it gets a little different because this is an exchange coin, and it's not like it's just a project. This isn't the Binance coin. Pretty much does directly correlated to how well the Binance exchange does. So if Binance is doing great and they're still getting more customers and clients and they're doing great, and good news is happening with them and their servers are doing good, then their coin's going to exceed, because their coin is kind of in correlation to their customers and to how well their exchange is doing, while also being somewhat tethered to Bitcoin. So it's tethered to two things at once, which is what makes it strange and hard to do TA on. But over here, you just have straight bearish divergence. You have lower levels of positive momentum over here. Your bears or your bulls are eventually just ever so slightly on your daily MACD chart, are just ever so slightly going away. And it's a very slow fade, but you can tell that it's starting to fade. And your oscillators are starting to point down. They are looking great though. Again, your oscillators are looking great. They look like they're starting to round off over here. So keep, you know, it might be time for a little bit of pullback on BNB, which isn't a bad thing. It could just be a healthy thing. Comes over here, gets a little bit of pullback, and then keeps on its track. But BNB is one of the only coins. BNB is one of the only coins that you could have bought at the beginning of 2018 and like be in profits. Or you could have bought in like February of 2018 or something like that, and you could still be in profits, I think. Let's look at this to a US dollar. No, okay, so no, you couldn't. I take that back. Your Satoshi value is great right now, but your US dollar value is not great. So your Satoshi value is very different from your US dollar value. Your US dollar value is a whole different story. So that's like a whole different technical analysis over here. Jeez. I think Neo, sorry if I'm like screaming into my mic. Guys, if I'm ever too close to my mic, just let me know. Sometimes I like creep up on my computer and I have a boom arm, so it's like right in my face and I don't realize that I'm speaking into it. I like to look at ZIL and Link charts while waiting for BTC to BTC to move. I forgot. ZIL, we'll look at them for sure, man. Did it close in the green? Oh, this is Bitfinex. I got happy. I got way too excited. I was like, wow, it actually closed in the green. Something happened while we were gone. But no. So it closed in the red on Coinbase, and it's pointing down again. So 1 hour chart, yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, personally, I think this thing is just winding down for another move down over here. But that's my bias. I think it'll take it a little bit, but I think it's winding up. A little bit of deep thinking here. Your 1 day, see, your 4 hours are like, your 4 hours aren't that bad. They really aren't. But you get around to like your 1 day charts and things just look nasty. Like, so like this is one of the things I was talking about, is just the sheer rejection candles over here. So rejection over here fell pretty far down. you know, rejection over here, fell back to the heart line. Okay, so that's actually cool. So rejection from our channel over here, and this is what I was talking about, the heart line earlier. So rejection from the top of the channel, fell back, hit the heart line, bounced off of it. Now we're over here. You had 5 days of rejection. One piercing candle that hit the 50 EMA on your daily and got rejected from there. So 5 days of rejection, and people are like, I don't understand why it fell. Well, I mean, you had 5 days of rejection and you failed a bull flag, and your volume was falling away on your 4 hour. So like, put all those things together, you cook up a nice juicy cocktail of bear salad, and we might be getting a side and an entree over here of bear soup. We'll see how that plays out, and maybe even a dessert. So again, from the way this, if this does respect, targets would be, of course, heart line. If it breaks the heart line, down here and down here. So 3,400, 3,900, 3,750, somewhere around that. That would be my personal targets. But the big thing for this area is that main targets hit up here, right? 5 days of resistance. I made a video about it yesterday, something like short pump, big dump. I forget what the title is. We dumped. The good stuff is played out, right? So either way, you know, it's nice for us already. It's nice for me already. And who knows? I might be able to. I'll probably, to be honest, I'm betting on it that I'll be able to catch it again. And if not, like, you know, it was good already. So, but again, I'm still very bearish in this situation. I think it's a very bearish scenario. Gordon says, got to go. Thanks for the charts, bro. Yo, appreciate you coming in here, Gordon. Great to have you, my man. You have a great day, night. I think you said you were from overseas, so I hope you have a great day, my man. Yes, now. Miguel. All right, so how long have we been going for? Wow, we've been going for over 2 hours. We've been going for over 2 hours, guys. That's crazy. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here. I have a couple announcements, of course, and you know, this is the way that we always end it out. So if you guys did enjoy the stream, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel, and that's something that like you hear all these YouTubers say, and I never expected it. But now that I've started YouTube for myself, likes and comments on videos and stuff surprisingly are more important than like anything else. Like YouTube will not advertise your videos. I don't know why. But and like if you don't have like likes and comments, and if the ratios aren't correlated, like anyway, if you guys did enjoy it, help support the channel. And if you guys want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. As I mentioned earlier, there is links to the Discord in the comment section, in the description down below. You guys can go. It's free. There's like an area where traders and our community hangs out, completely free. You have to have the Discord app, I think, to get in there. Again, the whole thing's free, but I do appreciate you guys coming in here. If you guys want to view today's free Patreon post, usually I charge every month for it. It's essentially the way I get paid for doing YouTube, because YouTube pays me like nothing. Basically, they don't really like pay small content creators anything. So the way that I earn, and the way that I'm trying to earn a revenue for myself to compensate myself for all the hours that I put into this stuff, is through my Patreon. Usually I charge for it. Today I did it completely for free. So if you guys want to go and look up my full Bitcoin technical analysis of what I wrote up today, I'm going to go ahead and throw that in chat. So again, not saying you have to go buy, but if you guys want to go look at the free write-up I did today, go over there, and if you can't see it, drop me a message. But it should be a free write-up, like a free. You guys should be able to view whatever I wrote up today for free. So even if you don't want to buy it, it's a good write-up. Miguel says it was great. Thank you for the stream. Yo, thank you so much for stopping by, Miguel. It was great having you. Vel, thank you for coming in. Rob, thank you for coming in. Slice Keeper, thank you for coming in. Rob says DTube. Miguel says DTube as well, or BitTube. I don't know what BitTube is, but there's a long history of why I can't use Steemit and I can't use DTube, and I wish I could, but essentially I can't make another Steemit account, which means I can't make it another DTube account unless I get like a new phone number. Basically, unless I get a new identity, they won't let me make a new account because a long time ago I made an account and like I forgot my password or something, and then they locked me out, and the only way for me to get back in is to give them like my 24-digit security thing because it's decentralized. And again, it's from forever ago, so I can't use DTube or Steemit or any of that. And I've talked to them about it, and they're just sort of like, sorry. So unless I get like a new phone number or stuff like that, then and like that whole deal, then they won't let me create a new account, which is really stupid. And they're like, well, we can't just delete your old one and make a new one with all this stuff because you can't prove that it's you. And I was like, click on the videos. They all, like, everything is labeled the crypto analyst. It all has my face in every single video. I verify that I am the crypto analyst. And they're like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, okay. How can I prove to you that I'm the crypto analyst? And they're like, you can't. It's decentralized. And I was like, all right, cool. Anyway, I can't upload to DTube anymore. Not until something comes out where they, for some reason, are going to... Hopefully they'll let me create a new account eventually, but they were basically saying I had to get a new identity and a new phone number and all that stuff, and had to move if I wanted to, and I don't care enough to do that. Long story short, I can't upload to DTube, unfortunately. I wish I could. I loved it. I loved uploading over there. What is BitTube? Let's look. Anyway, for the most part of it, guys, I appreciate those of you guys who came in here. For the most part of this, the technical analysis and everything is done. I'm gonna go ahead and look into BitTube, I think it's called, and we're just gonna hang out here for a second. But if you guys want to stay in chat, by all means, we're just gonna be hanging out in here for like the last couple minutes. What's it called? BitTube. Let's check this out. Ooh. What is this? Still a small platform. Those stories are important, though. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely. It's a mineable coin. Thank you for the BitTube tip at Rob. Only at 1.51% of tax, 2019. ICOs beware. And that's the thing. Is like, it's so tempting sometimes. Like, you guys don't know. So, again, I'm a college student. I do college full time. If anything, you can say that this is my job or whatever. And trading's my job. But it's tempting for these ICOs to come to me and they'll be like, hey, we'll pay you like, they'll pay me like good money. They'll be just advertise our ICO or advertise this or that. And like, I have such a strong filter and moral compass that I would rather say no to like the hundreds or thousands of dollars that they offer me and keep my community safe than pocket the money, run with it. And it'd be like contradictory to everything the channel has and like my beliefs. Also, I can pick up a quick buck, you know? It's just like, I don't know. It's tempting, but I'll never do it. They message me all the time. Same thing with like affiliate marketers. Will you feel safer when STOs compliant approach you? Yeah, 100%. Whenever ICOs that are like, are completely like done with government regulation, then I'll be fine with it. I'll be fine with advertising maybe occasionally for projects I believe in. The problem is that like most of them that email me are like overseas, and they'll be like, oh no, it's government regulation, but it's not United States government regulation, which is where the majority of my audience is and which is also where I live. So I can get in trouble for advertising ICOs. A ton of YouTubers did it earlier this year, and they got in a ton of trouble for it. because if one turns out to be a scam and you advertised it, then you're held liable as like a part in it. It's like the same thing that happened with BitConnect. Like all those guys who advertised BitConnect, they're all on trial because they advertised it and they supported it. And the same thing happens is if I do that and then one of them turns out to be a scam, then like I'm screwed too. So it's just a hard situation. And then there's other ones that are just like, I don't know. It's a hard situation. I need to find some good sponsors is what I'm trying to say. Will you feel... Oh, yeah. Yes, we moved to Malta to pursue ours. Miguel, are you with Foundation or something right now? Are you with like a group? You said you moved to Malta to pursue yours, excuse me. The one thing about this is like I just don't see any views. Like their most viewed videos are like hundreds, like 400 views consistently. Like if I type in Bitcoin, alright, some of these ones have a couple thousand views. I see what you're meaning though. It looks like a small platform. Yeah, it looks like a small plot. DTube's a lot bigger. I feel like a project that turned into an STO. Ooh, sorry, my eyes. Oops. Sorry. Hard for these platforms to pick up in this market. Yeah, it really is, and that's another thing. It's like there are good projects that like yeah, I'm gonna go check my email right now. We're gonna go check, see if we actually have any offers. Because there was someone in my live stream the other day that I really actually wanted to do a partnership with, but I couldn't. Or he like never ended up emailing me or something like that. Perfect. So like I've talked to people before and it's always something sketchy, like something that I can't do. Like they want to send you guys wallets and I can do giveaways for wallets. But there's been a billion instances of why that's a bad idea. Because then if what they usually do is they tamper with the wallets, I give it to my audience. About a month later, they re-access the wallet after you dumped all your crypto into it. It's a hacked wallet, and then they just seize the wallet and just take everything off of your wallet and put it into theirs. And then like it's a hacked wallet and I gave it out to my audience, and then my fans are like, my subscribers are like, all right, well, what the heck, bro? You did this giveaway and all my crypto's gone. Like, did you scam me? And then I'm like, oh, and then I look bad. And then I look like the scammer, or like I was in on it, or they gave me a share to scam. Like I can't give away wallets. It's hard with advertising in crypto because you have to be so safe. You have to watch what you say. You have to watch what you do. You can't advertise anything that could be a scam. You can't advertise that anything could be illegal, which is a lot in crypto. And you can't give away like wallets and all these other cool things. So it's like, again, I try my best. I try to have the best vetting possible whenever I do a partnership or something. Because, you know, I care about my subscribers. And a lot of people don't. But yeah, no, anything ICO, IPOs, it's hard for them to make it in this situation, in this market. I need to do a recap here because I need to, and we'll have a video coming out tomorrow too. Dashboard. Perfect. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, we'll have a video coming out tomorrow as well too, guys. And I don't know what the video will be. What do you guys want tomorrow, honestly? Because I guess those of you guys who are still in here and just hanging out, like this is the part where we just kind of chill. Like what video, I can ask you guys, like what video do you guys want to see tomorrow? Because I can, you know, I guess for those of you guys who stayed, I can just kind of, like, you guys can type it in chat and I can kind of just pump out a couple videos, because I essentially have the next 4 days, 3 days. I have the next 3 days of nothing planned. I have absolutely nothing for the next 3 days. So I can pump out 2 videos a day, 3 videos a day, and a live stream or something like that. So, agreed. But regardless, I think I'm going to get off. I think I'm going to go trade a little bit of this for myself. I'm going to go make some trades over in here. Sorry, I just got a text. I'm not sure I'm going to be... So I'll be in the Discord tonight. If any of you guys have like questions or anything else, of course. I'll be in the Discord in BitMEX War Room and in general chat. You'll probably just see me typing up a storm with other people. So if you guys want to like ask me a question or something, I'll be in there. But for the most part, I'm going to go trade a little bit myself. I'm going to go hang out, get some rest, and enjoy myself on this great Thursday night. 2.5 hours in. Wow. Stock market / crypto market volatility correlation. Is that a question or is that like a statement? I personally don't think the two are correlated. How to trade complex consolidations. Yeah, so Miguel, if you're in the Discord, I want to hear, or if you're in the Discord, then I'd love to hear more about like what your project is doing. And if not, just like next live stream or send me an email or something. Next live stream or send me an email about, because I want to hear more about it. Again, I love hearing about what my community's doing. So anyway, good night. Yo, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video, and thank you guys so much for watching tonight. My name has been the Crypto Analyst, otherwise known as Brendan TCA. And until next time, guys.